NGC Atlas Photographique by Olivier Gadal is a observation guide, as is written, Guide to Observation. And I had an unboxing of this a few months ago, and now I had the time to go actually do the full paging of this book. This is the essential guide for any kind of observation. NGC Atlas includes the Messier Atlas also, because all the objects of the Messier are bright enough to be included in this. And so let's go without any further ado and see the inside of the book. This part, which is a very simple French, we can understand in English also, is available in English translation through a PDF. The author sends it to you when you purchase this book. And that's the guide for it, lexic. Let me see if I can take this camera slightly closer so we can see better. So this is a list of all the Messier objects with a photograph of them. So this is the autumn, as you know. In this side is a slice of the meridian, exactly over the south, and you see the NGC and Messier objects on this. So this is the autumnal sky, and you can see a slice of the Andromeda and pieces and Cetus, which goes up to there, where the Cassiopeia is located there. The lists of the objects are here, and NGC number, the type, magnitude, constellation, right ascension, declination, filter, if you need a filter. That's a very important information, very nice. And a brief information. And here you see a photograph, representative photograph, not a big observatory telescopes, just a photograph with amateur telescopes or small, medium telescopes, as you can see here. All the objects are also photographically represented. Also the field of view or the actual angular size of this. I have to investigate that. I think this mostly is the angular size of them, because, yeah, 1 degree. Yeah, that's the 1 degree. That's the angular size, I think, of the field of view. Because Andromeda is more than 1 degree, definitely. It's at least 3-4 degrees I've seen around that size. Anyway, let's go for the next slice. Again, we are in the autumn. And this slice has it's slightly moved this size. Means that the sky is moving this size, this side. So the objects are listed again. This is good for if you want to make a list for observing the constellations and the deep sky objects. For every night you can actually use this. You can make a list of the objects that you think are bright enough. You have the equipment like filter, and you know, if this the type of the object that you're looking for. There is a legend here which actually explains all the symbols used in this. Now we are gradually moving toward the triangulum and Aries and the central Cetus. Now we have moved slightly again toward the east. So the sky is moving toward us, so they're coming over the south. And we see more objects in the Andromeda and some objects in the Perseus, and moving down gradually toward the Eridanus. Now we are moving toward the head of the Cetus. And Perseus is in the field of view also. I must say the quality of the paper is good. I'm not sure it is waterproof, but it can be moderately probably weatherproof. Of course, you can just take the pages out if you want. You can purchase 2 copies of this, or if you have 1 copy, just take the pages out. It's not a coffee table style book. Of course, you can study it for your own if you have a knowledge for it. Definitely, I enjoyed taking it on a coffee table and then study. But you can also put every individual page inside the cover and take it outside with you. Plastic cover. And now we are seeing the objects in the Eridanus. As you can see, we are moving in the Eridanus area. You see Pleiades in Taurus are now visible. Perseus. They are over the meridian, I should say, actually. And we are moving gradually toward the Auriga, also covering Auriga. And as you can see, this is the constellation. Oh God, it's a hare. Anyway, hare. What? I forgot the Latin name for it. Leopard? No. Lepus, probably. I forgot. Anyway, don't contact me. There's a columba behind it, also under it here on the horizon. Then we are now in the Orion with all these beautiful deep sky targets. These are all around the Orion Nebula. Beauty. That looks like a face of a joker. That one. NGC 1909. Now we are moving gradually toward the east side of the Auriga, and gradually Gemini is coming to field of view, but he's not yet there. You can see the Flame Nebula here. Now we have moved to the Monoceros. This is the Rosetta Nebula, or Rosette Nebula. It's a star cluster which is visible, nothing much, just a few stars, like a parallelogram or something like that. But in long exposure photos or under the right conditions with the right filter, you can see actually the oxygen 3 filter or ultra high contrast filter will show you some of the nebulosity. In long exposure photos you can see it, the full extent of it, which looks beautifully, truly like a rose. And now we are moving toward Gemini and Canis Major. So as you can see, we have here, am I right? I can see M35. One of this must be M35, but probably in the previous page we saw it. Anyway, we are moving now toward the central part of the Gemini and gradually toward the Canis Minor. Now we are moving toward the head of the Gemini, And here we can see gradually Centaurus is coming. If you are, of course, south enough, you can see from Paris, probably you can see it, and lower than that. We see just a little bit of it, the top of it from the Britain. And yeah, this is the Milky Way, by the way. Then moving toward gradually the emptier area of the spring sky, which is full of galaxies, and you can see more galaxies are visible. We are now leaving the realm of the nebulas and the star clusters. We are looking through a window away from the plane of the Milky Way toward the universe. So springtime is a time for observing the galaxies. So we are seeing gradually galaxies appearing in the Cancer area also. And there is a abundance of this, abundance of the kind of galaxies. Some of them are really far away. We are getting gradually close to the galaxies in the Cancer Leo area, and a lot of them also exist in the head of the Ursa Major and constellations around it. Now we are moving more toward the realm of the galaxies. Leo galaxies are now visible. I have a book about the HARP galaxies, or Hickson galaxies actually, which I will do also another time, paging through it. This is a guide for you. I'm just showing you what this book is all about. Now we are seeing the central parts of the Leo's head, and also here we have the Hydra, Sextant, and Ursa Major. All the galaxies, beautiful galaxies, are visible. I have seen so many of this. When you target a bigger one and you see a bigger one, you suddenly notice around it is full of little smudges. Those are other NGC objects that you see. If you find a messy object, galaxy in this area, you can be sure you are seeing also some other NGC objects there. Even with the smallest, even 60 millimeter, refractor can show you that. Now we are moving toward the central parts of the Leo, and now we are going toward the tail part of the Leo, gradually moving. I'm excited now because we are going to see the Leo's triplet, and gradually all those galaxies, M65, M66, can be visible. Yeah, the Leo triplet is here now, and we can see the galaxy of the Leo triplet. Easily visible in the smallest apertures even. But for the best observation of this, you can use either 6-inch refractor or Skywatcher EVO star very nicely, you can see, and also 12-inch Dobsonian. Again, these are the part of the Leo's triplet. Now we are moving toward the tail of the Leo and gradually seeing the objects in the deeper space, including the objects that are in the Virgo constellation and the Como Berenice or Bernice, and the tail of the Big Dipper, and the handle of the Big Dipper, and the crow or Curvus. That's very interesting. We are now moving. Oh, that's a crater, sorry, crater. Cup, and the Curvus is there. So, deeper and deeper looking in the cosmos. And now we are in the area of the Virgo. Virgo galaxies are numerous, including the most beautiful called Markarian chain. And Markarian chain is somewhere here, in the middle of the cup of the Virgo. So, Markarian chains are here. They are pictured here individually. Some of them are messier objects, so you can see them easier. And now we have to look for the Black Eye Galaxy, M106 also, and M99. Oh, many of them are actually having the NGC numbers. Was it Black Eye Galaxy somewhere? This is in the between Crater and Virgo. It's very easy to find it. Anyway, we are now moving inside and looking more deeper into this space. Somewhere here in the Como Bernice, or in Leo probably. I forgot exactly where it was. There's a quasar, the brightest quasar. I've seen it. I have a video about that. Yes, we are now looking at a lot of different objects in this area. Black Eye Galaxy is somewhere here. We will see if we can find it. Very interesting objects, full of galaxies. Yeah, M104. That's this one. Oh, Sombrero Galaxy, sorry. Black Eye Galaxy is in the Como Bernice here. That's a Sombrero. Very beautiful, easy to see. Quite actually. And we are now moving toward Virgo, leaving the Virgo cluster gradually and looking at the Como Bernice cluster. But that's not yet the end, because we will be seeing the objects which are in the spring sky completely away from the plane of the Milky Way. So fascinating number of the objects to add to your observation list. And yet you can even see some star clusters, or NGC 5053. What is it? 5053. Oh, Globular Cluster. That's very odd in that place, but anyway, here you have it. Oh, M51, a showcase. That's in the Canis Venatici. And we are seeing lovely objects like the M83, M3 Globular Cluster, which is here. And we are now getting near the Bootes. And Virgo is such a big one. That is the leg part of the Virgo we are passing. And looking at those beautiful interacting galaxies, several pairs here. Yeah. Trio of the NGC 5376 to 79. That is amazing. Now we are moving more toward the east, and Bootes and the easternmost part, the feet part of the Virgo is there. This is the galaxy which is NGC 5746. 5746. Yeah, that's a magnitude 10 galaxy. Beautiful. I have to observe this one. Yeah, we are now seeing gradually Globular Cluster M5 coming. So we are getting close to the plane of the Milky Way. It's amazing that how in 19th century and 20th century we started gradually to map the positions of these things in the sky, finding that the Globular Cluster make a halo around us, finding the shape of the galaxy. For us it looks obvious, but for the ancients it was not probably that much obvious. And now we are moving completely to the areas of the Scorpion, Libra, the Serpent Coda, or Serpent Coat, Caput, and Hercules, and all the Draco. Draco has a lot of faint galaxies to look at. And we are in the Ophiuchus now, which surprisingly is one of the constellations of the zodiac, but is not included in the ancient list, but we know that it is part of it, the southern part of it. Anyway, interesting. Now we see a lot of globular clusters now, and only a few galaxies like NGC 6140, which is magnitude 11.6. And now we are back to the star clusters and nebulas, including also some galaxies yet, which we'll have to look through the swarm of the closer stars of our own galaxy toward them. And we are now moving gradually toward the Sagittarius, and full of star clusters and nebulas, and a few, of course, in the northern part where there's a way you can see some galaxies yet. So we are now going to look toward the other side, the denser part of the inner part, or the nucleus of our own galaxy. It's full of, clouds, dark clouds, bright clouds, emission clouds, and nebulas that are visible. Like what we saw in the winter sky, but the winter sky objects are closer to us, so they're bigger and more visible. So this side is a little bit further away. So we are closer to the Orion or Perseus arm of our galaxy, probably in that sense. And the M57, because there's a lot of stars there, we have a lot of supernovas visible from our own, or novas in this area, and also some stars which are degenerated and creating the planetary nebulas. Density of them, the chance of seeing them is higher in these areas. Again, we are seeing some planetary nebulas, beautiful star clusters, and it's the time that in the northern hemisphere, especially in northwest Europe and England and UK, the skies are relatively brighter compared, and it gets really less dark. But it's a nice time. It's a nice time to observe, because it's easier, the weather is more pleasant. We are going toward the beauties of the Cygnus and the Cygnus arm of the galaxy with the big gap, dark clouds and bright clouds. This is a Supernova Remnant mask galaxy, or we call it also, these are NGC 6992 anyway, and that's called the Venus Belt. North American Nebula, part of it you can see, Pelican Nebula also. Whale Galaxy, yeah, I told the French name, yeah, Whale Galaxy is the English name of it. Of course, Whale again is Latin, French probably. And that's part of the North American nebulas, NGC 7000. Yeah, North American nebula. This is a Gulf of Mexico part. And yet again, some nebulas, globular clusters, and planetary nebula. That's the time for planetary nebulas. We are looking gradually away from the plane of the Milky Way, and the galaxies are appearing. I like the way this book is presented. It practically shows you everything according to in relation to the Milky Way. That's really nice. You see how easy it is for me to explain everything, because it's just there. And that's the Helix Nebula. Is a planetary nebula, M27, I think, NGC 7293. Anyway, maybe not that, because the NGC number only. NGC 27 is something, M27 is something else. In Vulpecula, I think that is. This is very Aquarius. Anyway, we are now looking toward, again, back to the Andromeda. Pegasus, then Andromeda. So we are looking again at the galaxies, a few star clusters, a few nebulas, but yet more galaxies. We are back to the point we started in the autumn. And this is all the list of all the objects that we had covered in this book according to the constellations. That starts from here. Then, oh no, according to the type of the object. Oh no, that's the constellations. Yeah, that's according to constellation. Then type of the objects also mentioned, and the page you have to look for them. So it's a handy guide for you. Of course, when you get familiar with the night sky, you don't need this. Everything you just directly go to the list. This is also the abbreviation of the kind of objects you see. This is the last page. You can buy it from the author, ATLAS NGC Photographique. This is the website, and he has several other books, and I recommend to get them. I may get them later. This book probably costs around £51 if you buy it from the UK. In Europe, probably it's cheaper because the postage will not be added to that. So that was my paging the full NGC Atlas Photographic, and consider it as also a review of it. As you have seen, it's very easy, very informative and inductive. You can just go with the seasons and every night and find the objects that you liked to make a list. I have to ask Susan, that was patient enough actually to let me, use her beautiful table for doing this review. Thank you, Susan.